Hello everybody, Mechwarrior here. Today we're going to do a little off-the-cuff, no-script review of the newest BattleTech Recognition Guide Volume 1 Technical Readout. It just arrived in the mail, I opened it up, blown away, and wanted to share it with you so that you know what's inside, just in case you were wondering if it's right for you. So if you aren't already in the know for the IlClan era, Catalyst has been producing these recognition guides for online only. So you could go to their site and download a PDF. It'd be like $4, I think, if I recall correctly, about $4. And you get a collection of 4 or 5 mechs and you get the big picture version of the kind of a new take on the mech. And then you get the standard TRO for like 3 or 4 mechs, and behind that you get some more additional information about 4 or 5 others, sometimes 3, 4, or 5 others. Kind of depends on the recognition guide. And as great as that has been to get those every once in a while, they release a new one. I think they're up into their 30s now. But for those of us who are very old school and prefer that our books come in paper format, they are finally getting around to releasing the guides in book format. So obviously, as thick as this book is, it's more than one of these at a time, obviously, because if it's $4, this is quite a few of them put together. But it is finally your paper version of these recognition guides. So it's going to really help if you're kind of on the fence of whether or not you want to dive into the IlClan era. This may be the book for you. So one thing that's missing from Catalyst's site, and it's always kind of bugged me, especially since I spend so much time digging through the old source books, is not having a table of contents with the book that you're trying to sell, so people know exactly what's in the book that they're buying. So here we have the table of contents. You know exactly the mechs that are going to be in here. Don't see any tanks this time, so there are tanks mixed in with some of the other IlClan recognition guides. But this time it looks like, again, the theme for this one is classics. So it's kind of mechs that we've known for a very long time. The Locust, Stinger, of course, Wasp, so on and so forth. Main reason why I bought this is because I heard that this was going to have all the 2Cs in it. And if you're a fan of the channel at all, you already know I kind of like the 2Cs. So this is my chance to get some of these newer pieces of art and the newer information for some of these battle mechs that I really love. They even have the Stone Rhino here. Great. Bane, awesome. So all of these really great early clan era mechs, kind of invasion and slightly after invasion era mechs. So good stuff. And then it's got a couple of 3 Comstar battle mechs in there at all. So what do you get for each of these? So I'm obviously not going to show them all. There's some cool pieces of art in here. We've got an introduction that's in universe. I won't show it all because obviously I'm not going to do the whole thing, but a couple of introductions kind of letting you know what's in the book. Great cool piece of art for the Stinger. Stinger never gets enough love, for a battle mech that most Mechwarriors have piloted at some point in their careers, just being it's such a great starter mech. It's looking very introspective here. It's sitting and pondering. It almost looks a little bit like the Thinker or even the Boxer at Rest, the Terme Boxer from Rome, and it's kind of a neat pose. Almost looks like an atlas back there. Good stuff. All right, so this is a good example of what is inside these readouts. So we've got kind of the history of the mech, and we've got the Locust. We're all familiar with the Locust if you've played the game at all. And it has, of course, since it's the IlClan Recognition Guide, we're going to be looking at new variants that the old classical mech is going to be updated with. Here we got the Magshot Gauss Rifle, Medium X Pulse Laser, Magshot Gauss Rifle, good times. So it's got all the info, we've got the armor, all the things you need to know. It even has the quirks. So narrow, low profile, no minimal arms, ubiquitous, weak legs. And then on the next page you have notable mechs and Mechwarriors, kind of standard fare. If you've seen any technical readout in the past 30 years, you know these. Some of these are kind of better than others. you know, being someone who's doing research for mechs and trying to find good information, kind of creative, fun stories about them. Some of these are better than others. Sometimes it's kind of baffling how it ended up in notable mechs or Mechwarriors, because yeah, but I'm not going to bash it too much because it's kind of just cool that this book exists at this point. We have to kind of count our blessings. And then the thing that really interests me is having a hard copy of the art for the mech. So I finally get some kind of updated designs. Some of these are significantly changed. Some of them are just kind of tweaking it for the 21st century plus 23. So Locust is looking good. I don't think it's ever really looked better. It looks very kind of real. I think for a lot of these designs, the mech has been updated to look like it's a much more functional piece of military hardware rather than kind of a fantastical one. If you go back to the 3025, now I'm not bashing the 3025 art. I love it. Love the 3026. That's my favorite technical readout of all time, the 3026. But the realism kind of takes a backseat to the style, that very 80s mecha style. So this is different, of course. It's not for everyone, but if it's for you, then you're going to be a happy camper. I've got the Stinger, of course. I'll show the art for the Stinger just because it looks awesome. So again, much more kind of realistic type art for the mech rather than a kind of slimmed down version. The original Stinger is pretty slim, and then of course that has borrowed from the other game that we won't mention. All right, so it has, again, plenty of mechs. Got the Scout, never looked better. With a couple of the variants. Phoenix Hawk, you've seen the new mold, of course. The CGL plastic are going to match these pretty closely. New Chameleon, love the Chameleon. Very cool looking mech. New variants. Rocking the Case 2s, Jump Jets, medium laser, good times. Now, I haven't used some of these weapons a whole lot. So like Medium X Pulse Laser, I haven't used a whole lot. So it's something I need to get better at. We have a tendency to go back to our comfort zones when we're playing, so I'm sure I'm not alone in that. So lots of really good art all the way through. I'm going to find... Oh, there's our Stone Rhino. There, it's a pretty looking mech. It's a pretty looking mech right there. Got our Warhammer 2C. Gotta love it. Got its 4 medium pulse lasers, 5 medium pulse lasers, SRM6, 2 ERPPCs. Oh, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? That's just a beautiful mech. Very powerful. Oh, got the White Raven, Black Python Viper. Good stuff. Alright. So, that being said, who's this book for? This book is for someone who wants the physical copies of these TROs, because obviously you could go to the Catalyst site and buy the recognition guide for the mechs that you want, and if you only want a few mechs, you're probably better off going with the PDF. If you're someone like me who loves to have the physical copy in front of him and to be able to pull it off the shelf and go take my kid somewhere for his soccer practice and just sit down and read, then maybe the physical copy is for you. I just love the idea. It just feels a lot more real when you can pick it up and hold it in your hand. So that's that. I'm going to open up in the comments. If you have specific questions concerning mechs, I'll go back to the table of contents here. And again, you can always pause the video if you need to go back and say, hey, is the mech that I want in here? We will get more of these in the future as they work their way through the rec guides. Price-wise, it's a very reasonable price. If you've been purchasing the rec guides at $4 a piece or whatever they're sold at, like I only have about half of them, so that's going to be a thing. But if you just want to do one or the other, or if you've been holding off on purchasing the rec guides, well, this is your chance to pick up some of that new art. So with that, I'll say we'll wrap this up. Again, if you have questions, drop them in the comments below. Thank you to everybody for clicking all the various buttons to make YouTube happy and share it with others. And until we meet again, take care and go make the world a slightly better place today and tomorrow.